Good afternoon, and On Point is welcoming Colleen Barney, and I want to tell you a little bit about her. She is the managing partner of Albright & Barney. She became the youngest certified specialist in estate planning, trust, and probate law by the State Bar of California of legal specialization in 1996. She is a graduate of Central Michigan University, magna cum laude, and the University of Michigan Law School. Colleen received her LLM in taxation cum laude from the University of San Diego School of Law. Colleen has been quoted in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Time, and Money magazine. She has also appeared on CNBC's Squawk Box, CNN, and the Wall Street Journal Report. Colleen is the co-author of the book, Best Intentions, Ensuring Your Estate Planning Delivers Both Wealth and Wisdom, not warmth and wisdom. Oh, that would be good, too. Colleen has been named in Super Lawyers, Southern California edition. She is a recurring guest expert on Money 101, heard both on KNX and KFWB. Colleen competes under the Masters Division of the USA Track and Field Program. She is a world champion in the 100 meters and a 4-time national champion in the 100 meters, 200 meters, and 400 meters in her age group. How do you do it? Seriously, how do you do it? So I want to ask you a little bit about Newport Mesa before I get back to how do you do it.
Okay.
You do a lot for the district, I know, and in the Newport Mesa Unified School District. And what are you currently working on?
Currently, I'm on the Measure F Citizens Oversight Committee. I'm finishing up work on the flagship programs, and I'm on the advisory committee for the college and career education. So those are my 3 projects currently.
So strange as it may seem, there might be some, lost soul out there who doesn't know what those are.
Okay.
Doesn't understand the flagship program, doesn't know what Measure F is.
Sure.
And I was on some committee about Measure F. How do you think it's going?
Measure F is going well. So Measure F is an oversight committee making sure that the bond funds for the major renovation projects are being spent appropriately. We are finishing up Costa Mesa right now, finishing up Corona Del Mar right now, and getting ready to embark on the Davidson Field project at Newport Harbor.
Yeah.
So we just make sure that the money is being spent appropriately. Everything looks like it's all in order and going well.
Yeah. Can you compare it to Measure A, or were you involved in Measure A?
I wasn't involved in any of Measure A.
Okay. And then the flagship.
So the flagships are a new project under the auspices of the superintendent's office, and are really designed to help make each zone have a special component to it, something that makes them stand out. In other words, their flagship. What is their flagship program? And so we spend a lot of time going to the different zones and trying to figure out what makes them, what shows their culture the best, what makes them special and important. And so we've kind of come up with 4 plans for the 4 different zones. In the Corona Del Mar zone, it's more of a global program where they're going to be implementing some foreign languages in the earlier grades and bringing that up into talking about global economics and those types of things up into the high school. At Newport Harbor, the plan is IB, which we already have at the high school level, but to start bringing it down into the lower levels through the primary years program.
They might not know what IB is either.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
So IB is the International Baccalaureate Program.
Right.
So some people compare it to like AP, which is advanced placement. It's not really that. For what I think IB is it's a way of thinking differently about education. It's about integrating subjects together. My example always is in physics, in an AP class, you might learn what's the physics of how you built the pyramids. But in IB, you might talk about, well, what were the socioeconomic factors? Who were building the pyramids? What were the geological features that made the pyramids appropriate in that place? And in addition, what were the physics on how we got the pyramids built?
Right. So how many kids are actually involved in the IB program, or do you know?
Yeah, this year there's 37 potential candidates graduating. Last year there was only 18. The first year there was about 22. They're looking at over 50 for this next upcoming class coming in.
Okay, good. So I think you mentioned a third thing. I don't remember what it was. You talked about flagship.
The third
Measure F
program is the College and Career Education Department.
Right.
So I sit on the advisory board for that. And they're doing a lot of really interesting things, a lot of grants, a lot of ability to bring some money in and have a more diverse education system where we're not every kid is necessarily going to college, and maybe our idea of what college should be might even be slightly different, more vocationally oriented, and so they're trying to get kids more prepared for college and career.
Okay, and what would maybe you don't know the answer to this, but what careers are they looking at for the future? Because their careers are changing. So
yeah, and so what I'll tell you is the answer is I don't think that there is a particular career they're looking at. I know one of our team members that we're partnering up with is an optics company in Costa Mesa. And they do phenomenal optics from small things like microscopes to big things on the Hubble telescope, and teaching kids the whole from A to Z what to do in how to manufacture and produce these items. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, it is totally interesting. So what project or projects are you the happiest about? That are going on currently, or that have gone on in the past that you've been involved with?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the flagships. I think hopefully there's enough money to actually have them come to fruition, as opposed to having done this work and then maybe not be able to fund them. But I'm excited about the flagships. I think that everybody likes to have something to stand behind and a banner to wave, and so I think the flagships really do that. I think it's really important in the Costa Mesa zones. I think they worry a little bit more about attrition and losing kids to other districts, and so I think that will really help. So I like that.
We'll just go back to the flagship for just a minute. So you have the zone, like the Newport zone. I don't know what you call I guess you call it the Newport zone. And so Newport Elementary. So does it start at the elementary school? What would a first grader, second grader, third grader be doing under the flagship program?
Sure. So I think ultimately, if we could bring it all the way to the end, what you would see is a full international baccalaureate zone where the elementary schools have what they call the PYP program, primary years program, and they start learning this critical thinking component, this integration of curriculum, and then it goes through middle years program, and then on to those kids who want to do the capstone of the International Baccalaureate Diploma program can do that. It doesn't mean, though, again, for me, it's not about that terminology, that IB. It's more about teaching kids maybe in a smarter way. So I think that would ideally be the end result. It might take us a few years to get there. I mean, it might be that maybe we start bringing in small pieces of it to begin with and start to teach kids off of that program.
Okay, so you've served on many district committees. Could you kind of tell us which ones and sort of explain what they are?
Sure. So I've served on the superintendent selection committee. That was to select the superintendent.
Yes.
I've sat on the Newport Harbor principal selection committee. I've sat on the district GATE parent advisory committee, so that's for the gifted and talented education. I've sat on the committees I already mentioned, the Measure F, and I sit on the superintendent's parent advisory committee, and we spend time talking to the superintendent about issues in the district that we have concerns with, and he spends some time talking about what his plans are for the district. I am the district liaison for the Newport Harbor Educational Foundation, which pretty much means I go to every school board meeting. I sit in the back. I report back to the school.
I have not seen you there, but you probably haven't seen me there very much either.
I think I saw you there last time.
I did. I was there.
But I sit in the back and I try to be quiet.
Yeah, it's hard to do though, isn't it? Sometimes you just want to stand up and say something.
Well, sometimes I text messages.
Please bring this up. Yeah. So, what is what committee that you've been on? And this is kind of a dumb question actually, but what committee that you've been on is the thing that you feel that you've had the most impact? Where you've had the most impact?
There's probably one thing that I did. I think probably the thing that I have had the most impact is actually being the district liaison, because I've had the opportunity to spend a fair amount of one-on-one time with a lot of district personnel, from Dr. Navarro up in the superintendent's office, and Dr. Hinman in the assistant superintendent's office, Dr. Sir down in director of elementary education. And a variety of different administrators and teachers at a variety of different levels, getting their input on things and trying to sometimes facilitate maybe things that we want to see happen at different levels and back and forth. Yeah. So I think that's probably the thing that I've had the most impact. The one probably sole project. I spent a lot of time working on the what they call the SCOs, the School Connected Organizations. And it was a concept of doing a lot more oversight over foundations and boosters, and honestly, it was actually a fight against giving so much information, and really, and we probably had a good 5 or 6 or 7 meetings up at the district offices explaining our concerns on a parent level, why we didn't always want to provide all of our information. And at the end of the day, we were able to work out something that helped the district make sure we were doing things properly, but at the same time not seceding all of our vital information over.
Can I just ask you just a little bit about your personal life? How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids. Rachel is 18, almost 19, and Julia is 17.
And where are they right now?
Rachel's at Les Roches in Switzerland. She studies international hotel management. She's a freshman, and Julia is finishing her freshman year at Colorado College, and she's studying cellular and molecular biology.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
If I could just get those words to roll off my tongue a little better.
It's very hard. So, it's all hard work, and you've got obviously a hugely busy life. How are you able, seriously, how are you able to do it all?
So I think
And you have a really clean kitchen.
Well, I have a lot of help with the interior of the house, and I don't cook, so my kitchen never gets dirty.
Right.
I would say my husband would say is by having a really supportive husband, which I do have. But I think a lot of it is when you're really passionate about something, you figure out ways to do it. So when there's something that I really, really care about, maybe I don't get to watch as much TV at night, or I don't get to do some of the things I'd otherwise be doing in my spare time, and I fill them with these types of things.
You're pretty organized, aren't you?
Most of the time.
It's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.